special presentation.
From the Captain Esports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. It is the mountains of Pocono, and it is round number 6 of this TI Racing Gen 4 series as we get you ready to go green in Pocono, Pennsylvania, the virtual Pocono Raceway, in race number 6 of 10 in this championship battle that as of right now could end up coming down to the last race of the season as we're halfway now. But obviously plenty of time to go here as we get ready to go racing for 50 laps voted on by the drivers in just a little bit. As you see some fog starting to kind of creep over the racetrack. The sun was out a little bit ago. Humidity is pretty high right now, about 100%. That's really high, to be honest with you. And what that means is we could have fog. So if Chris Buescher's around, he could win this race. There's a joke there because he won a fog race here once. Anyways, let's get you ready as Michael Eckert making his cameo appearance there on track. Take a look at the point standings as we enter this race this evening. As I talked about, it's very tight. Here, let me stretch it out there a little bit for you so you can see it. Stephen Miles leads it right now by 8 over Kyle Ethier. Colby Wells, 3rd in points. Chris Lewis, Josh Dillon, your top 5. Alex Bryson right there, 6th in points. 7th, Devin Ramsey, Craig Martin, Daniel Giroux, and Sammy Davis Jr., as I like to say. For those who have not seen the Rush Hour movies, you will not get that reference. But either way, plenty of racing to go still, halfway, as we get ready for round number 6 here this evening at the Pocono Raceway. Cars are out on track right now. Qualifying is going to start literally in 2 seconds. 1, and just like that, track's going to change, and we're going to see qualifying here. As appreciate the viewers joining us here this evening for some Tuesday night racing. Checkered flags waving. Trust me, it'll change here in a second. You see the fog getting... Hey, look at that, the sun's back out. So, I think that's going to be a sign of what's to come here later on. We've had a race that has gone to completely darkness because of the wild settings that Lewis and some other weirdo told him he should try. So you wonder if we could have a race end with fog. That could be interesting. That would be a new concept. As the cars will roll out onto the track. Let's see who's going to be the first one out there. It looks like it's going to be the Rabbit here. Dylan Rosenberg in the 91 car, the Valvoline paint. Of course, 2.5 mile track, tricky triangle, you might know it as. 3 different corners, 3 different straightaways. 3 different soda sizes if you go to the concession stand. It has everything different as Rosenberg rips the top side there, as you usually do here, to get the momentum down the straightaway. Close to 200 miles an hour down into turn 1. And Dylan's actually going to miss the bottom a little bit here. You probably want to get right down on that yellow line if you can. Gets a little free. Brings up the Long Pond straightaway. And down into the 6-degree banked corner of turn 2, 9 degrees, I should say. And that's just like Indianapolis. Of course, turn 1, Trenton. Turn 3, Milwaukee Mile is what this track was based off of, like a hybrid of all those tracks. It was built to actually host IndyCar racing, and it did for a little bit. Then it hosted NASCAR, and it still has. And then hosted IndyCar again, and IndyCar hasn't been back in about 10 years. As Rosenberg, the first one to put a lap up, 52.98. He's the guinea pig, as we like to say. As Kyle Ethier, 52.86. Home track for Kyle. Kyle's up there in that area where you have like 15 home tracks. Jacob Gibson returning to the series, 53.22. Jacob Bowen, rookie there, with a 53.40. So good laps there so far. Check on the Dales, Pools, and Spa entry of Brandon Alphin. You see right now, Rosenberg's actually in the purple. Dylan's been getting better and better, slowly and surely. Every race, he just seems to improve more and more. Got a top 3 finish last week in the league race Wednesday night at Talladega. As Ethier, 52.7, lays down the law here on lap number 2. I would think lap 1 would be the fastest, the way these tires fall off. As Alphin crosses the line, and he was in the yellow last time by. I see some purple from the home stater. Alex Bryson. Is that 38 car going to do it at his home track? Boom shakalaka, 52.70. Puts it up there on the top. Here's old Tedler. A little loose there through 3. Matt racing a little bit of a heavy heart here this week. Good to see him out here racing as he goes P16, unfortunately. Casey Carrington, P6 in his 99 car. Here's Ty Young out on track here, looking to return. He's been out a couple weeks here, making his return to the series. As Ty qualifies, looks like P10 with a 52.99 and a 4. Michael Eckert showing up for the second straight week, which might actually be a record for the most consecutive races he's ran in like 2 years. Slides it through 3 and crosses the start-finish line in 14th. As Carrington going to cross the line in his Aaron's Dream Machine. And he stays P8, 52.91. One weapon left pretty much here for Bryson. And it's his teammate Steven Miles who hangs it out sideways off 3. And he ran out of time. Alex Bryson gets the pole. It looked like Miles was going to be short anyways, but still, you never know. But Bryson wins the pole. Congratulations to him as we go trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the
All right. Anthem done. Cars starting to roll off right from pit road right here. As we take a look at the starting lineup here at Pocono Raceway, virtually on iRacing. On the pole, Alex Bryson. Truly his home track. He's in the Pennsylvania area as he wins pole for tonight's race alongside Kyle Ethier. Colby Wells in the 45 car. Brandon Alphin in the 21 car. Josh Dillon in the 88 alongside Stephen Miles, points leader there outside row 3. Daniel Giroux, Casey Carrington, row 4. Row 5, Dylan Rosenberg and Ty Young. Logan Dinsmore, the Texas driver. He will start there on the inside of Gregory Martin. Jacob Gibson, Michael Eckert, row 7, row 8. Melnick Russo. Row 9, Jacob Bowen, the rookie out of Carolina there. Matt Telder, Devin Ramsey making a start in the 9 car tonight. Clement Downing, Sammy Davis, and Lewis is going to round up the field. But it looks like Brandon Alphin did not grid as I'm seeing this right now, so I'm not sure what the situation there is. This is the race situation. 50 laps voted on, again, on the Discord page. 125 miles, 50 lap race, 50% fuel, which should be somewhere in the 15 lap range. So this is still going to be likely a 2 or 3 stop race, depending on how much they're able to save. 3 sets of tires, 3 overtimes, and a partridge and a pear tree. That 91% is what we got to watch, because if that gets up towards 100, the fog shows up. Basically, when the dew point temperature and the actual ambient temperature meet up at 100, or it creates 100% humidity, which, well, creates fog, per se. As we go racing, there's my meteorology for you today. Green flag from Pocono, virtually on iRacing, as Colby Wells gets a jump on his teammate. And by the way, tonight's first lap, presented by 40 Racewear. If you're looking for iRacing gear, from gloves to shoes, even apparel from hats and other things like that, check out 40racewear.com. There will be a link in the description page very shortly. But check out 40 Racewear, especially for those on iRacing. It's your chance to put some shoes and gloves in with your racing. Bryson, Wells, Ethier, Dillon, your top 4s. Dominic Russo, he about did it again. He's very notorious for getting into the wall and then sliding down into somebody. Ask me how I know. But Russo is having all types of issues, and there he goes into Lewis. Big wreck over here. The 0-0, Devin Ramsey involved. And caution comes out on lap 1 and 9/10. Thank you, Jim Herrick, by the way, for allowing me to put the name out there in the broadcast. Of course, he's also doing some cars for me and stuff. Been running an open wheel car and some official races, and have actually signed up for an Indy 500 going to be coming up here next week. So looking forward to putting 40 Racewear on a lot more stuff and continuing to wear the shoes that I have sitting here behind me when I'm on the track. Let's look at the replay here. Dominic was having issues from the start here. He almost gets down into the 19 car there. Goes into turn 3, up the track, into the wall again as Melnick tries to avoid him. See Dinsmore down there as Russo's still up there having all kinds of issues. And finally bowling balls into the 1, into the 111, into the 9, into a whole lot of people. But that unfortunate situation there brings out the caution. I mean, this goes all the way back to literally the start of this race. Let's... Oh, 0-0 almost clears. Gets hit by Ramsey. And caution coming out for the first time here. And this could give me the opportunity to... I'm going to put the link over here in chat. there's the link for the website for those who want to check it out, 40racewear.com. And I'm also going to put it down in the description really quickly here. You might have to update your computer here in a minute once I tell you it's done. All right, so yeah, if you update your YouTube page, you'll be able to see the link there too now, down in the description underneath the screen. As we're going to be promoting a lot more 4D Raceway. You're going to see them a lot on streams all throughout when we're on the air here now. So, looking forward to helping boost Jim's business. Of course, with him being a big open wheel guy, Indy 500 coming up, and all a little bit of practice they got today. A lot of cars on pit road getting damage fixed. It looks like Stephen Miles came to pit road. Martin, Young, Giroux, Gibson, Carrington, Eckert, Davis, and Dinsmore all came to pit road there to top off the fuel cells. And my guess here is that this has to do with that fuel mileage and particularly getting to the finish here on 2 stops. And we'll have to see how much that plays a role here. But first, I want to get my good buddy and pole sitter tonight, Alex Bryson, here at his home track of Pocono. Gets the pole here tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't expect it. Love-hate relationship with this track. But, yeah, so far so good. But we'll see. I got some pretty fast guys behind me.
So, obviously, you go into this race, and we get this caution here early. We get the 50 laps now. How are we looking pit strategy-wise here? Are we looking at potential 2 stoppers here, or are we going to need a third?
I personally think we'll need a third, but then again, I don't know a whole heck of a lot about, saving fuel and strategy and stuff like that. So I think we're just going to put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, and just, let it be as it may, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I really don't know a lot about it, but I say 3, just by previous experience, 3.
Let me teach you a little bit here real quickly.
Teach me.
All right, 50 divided by 2.
25.
Can't do 25 laps on. Take 50 divided by 3.
15, 30, 40, so 17. It's
Exactly.
like 16, 16.67, something like that.
You just did the math right there. Just like that's how I do it. So you did 15, 30, 45. There's 3 stops right there, right?
Yeah.
You're going green on lap 5. 45 to go. Just saying.
Just saying.
Hey, good job, though, no matter what.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Alex Bryson. Hey, I was giving him some math lessons, how I do math. I have to use my fingers and toes a lot, too. But anyways, it's funny. My wife always gets angry at me. She's like, how do you do that math so quickly? I'm like, it's kind of interesting. Like, the numerals I know the most are 7s. And how would I know that? Because I watch so much damn football. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. See how quick I can just fly right through them, right? And in percentages, you just knock them down by numbers. It's just the way it goes. Green flag back out. So now you've had a meteorology and a math lesson all in one 5-lap period. And caution is right back out for some reason. Michael Eckert in the 6 back here. All right, is there any hockey games on tonight? I might need to cover some during this race. Let's see what happens in the back here. Somebody didn't go. Let's look at this from the crash cam. Oh, I think the 6 had a hard time shifting. It started with a couple guys trying to get a good jump on the restart, but then it looks like the 6 maybe missed a shift here. Let's go on board. Unfortunate break there for Sammy Davis. Let's jump into his car here real quick. Yeah, that's a car not shifting. So it looks like I got stuck in neutral or something there. So that's either... So if he's using an H pattern, he probably didn't get it all the way into gear somehow. So, how much of an influencer can I be during a broadcast, you wonder, right? Alex Bryson's on pit road for fuel. Is this why I tell him I've hardly ever won a race on fuel? Matter of fact, I ran out of fuel at a race in the IndyCar on the Legacy Pocono a couple weeks ago. Ran out of fuel coming to the line. These guys top off. I was checking on things here. It looks like Jacob Bowen and Clement Downing have taken their cars behind the wall, unfortunately. And that's going to leave us Colby Wells, Josh Dillon, and Telder as the only three cars who have not pitted yet. And as long as they can save enough fuel here, they could probably match up with the guys who topped off. With this long enough track and this car, the way it is, with the lack of drag. I mean, you could let a car coast all the way down the short chute almost and stay at speed. So as these guys come back to pit road, now Colby's going to come in here. Are the pits closed? If these guys did not come down pit road the last time by, pit road should be closed for them. Because this should be one to go, and I've learned this rule, by the way, now with NASCAR. So, because of the choose cone, which obviously we don't have in iRacing. Basically, there is a penalty now for pits being closed at one to go in racing. The difference is, though, the penalty is you just don't get to choose what line you start in. That's why you see a lot of restarts when people are saving fuel in cup races and stuff. They're all in the inside lane because that's the rule. On iRacing, though, they have a rule for those who don't come to pit road the first time and then decide to come back in the second time without pitting the first. Those guys normally get a penalty. Let me throw up my screen here real quick. And let's see. There's no penalties. All right. So we carry on. So that means... What in the world? All right, so all these guys are coming through 3, and... Oh, I know what happened here. Okay. We talk about this all the time when this happens in a race. So, on iRacing, there is a glitch. And this glitch has been here forever. Okay, and there's no way around it, unfortunately. So, when the race goes green, if you are not past the start-finish line, before the green or before a caution comes out. So like that situation there, the green comes out and yellow immediately comes out. Okay, if nobody, whoever's not across the line, basically has to sit behind the pace car, and you get a wave around. So basically, what you just saw was almost every car in the field, I think, just got a wave around, and they're still getting wave arounds or something. I mean, the leader of the race should be Brandon Alphin. Let's go back here to the restart. Roderick Moore, hello, sir. All right, so let's go back to the restart here. Let me explain this for people that don't know what I'm talking about here. So, okay, so Bryson's bringing him to the green here at lap 4. Okay, so watch. This camera is pretty much at the start-finish line. Green comes out. All these cars are crossing the line. Oh, there, everybody should be across the line. So I don't know what in the world's going on. So never mind then. Ignore what I said, because everybody was across the start-finish line. So I don't know what's going on right now. Boy, everybody who's saving fuel right now is doing really good. I mean, all right, now I'm really confused here because as I'm watching this, so caution came out, we went green at lap. We attempted to go green at lap 4. Caution comes back out. We get pit stops. Let's see if we get this lineup right. Bryson, all these guys come to pit road. Colby fakes. So that should be the leader right there until he comes to pit road. Which I think we're about to get the green here. Problem is that... I don't know. I'm a little confused by this one, and look at this mess. Single file restart, I think, coming. Oh, now they're wrecking again. Guess Carrington gets hit into the 28, and... turmoil. And Colby Wells involved. Well, this gives me time to go back to lap 7 now. So, I mean... let's see what happened. I mean, Carrington tried to jump outside. Young moved up the track, and there's contact, and people wreck, and Colby got drilled by somebody. Is that Ether down there that drilled him? It was a blue car. It was Ether. Yeah? Oh, there's going to be some angry people. And for those who have never had a deep-fried Oreo, there's your closest thing to it right now. And now we've got Russo and Casey hitting each other back here. And I think this goes back to Dover. Okay. We've got just... I don't even know what to say right now. The turmoil. All hell's breaking loose. Where's Pace Car? Logan Dinsmore just towed to pit road. Okay. Hang on, I'm going to mute my chat for everything. All right, so interesting. So I've been told there's a new session apparently going up. I don't know. I'm just gonna put some music on, and come back, hang out. Let's. I mean, if you want to chat, we can chat too. I don't care. But yeah, I don't know anymore. I'll be back. As some like to say during baseball season, let's play 2. So a new session was put up, and qualifying has just gotten done. Kind of vibing to the music a little bit here. Don't mind me. I was enjoying the violin earlier. Anyways, all right. So we welcome you back to Pocono, and well, lightning struck twice. Alex Bryson's on the pole, as they did qualifying entirely all over again. And AB got the pole for a second time in one night. He should get bonus points for that. Just going to put that out there. Brandon Alphin going to start P2, which is actually where he started in the first race. That's kind of ironic. Casey Carrington did not start third in race 1, but he was race 2. He's going to be third. Stephen Miles, I believe, qualified 4th in race 1, and now he's 4th in race 2. That's kind of interesting. Kyle Ethier, Colby Wells, they will take row number 4. Row 5, Josh Dillon, Ty Young. Row number 5 is where you'll see, Dillon and Young. Row 6, Craig Martin, Sammy Davis. A lot of these cars, kind of like the All-Star race, brought out their backups. As these cars are going to roll off. Pretty much got everybody back. I'm counting 3 cars that at least gridded the first race that are not here in the second race. I know one is Clement Downing. I think, let's see, he's here. I don't know who the other 2 are. Dylan Rosenberg, Daniel Drew, they're row 4, as I mentioned. Martin Davis, where am I at? Ramsey and Melnick, row 7. Row 8, Telder and Russo. Jacob Bowen, Michael Eckert. And going to be it. 18 cars. We had 21 earlier. Chris Lewis is one of them, I've noticed. Clement Downing is 2. And give me a second, I'll figure out the third one. Either way, same race distance, 50 laps, 3. No, we're still in the turn 2 section here. For those who didn't remember, 50 laps, 78 degrees. Look at that percentage humidity, way down now. So I think the fog issue's gone. Partly cloudy skies, 2-mile-an-hour winds. Jacob Bowen is here. The Logan Dinsmore is not here. The 111 of Chris Lewis and Clement Downing. Those are your 3 cars. So here we go. Let's try again. Of course, lap 1 started with a caution off turn 3. We've got the same front row. Let's not have lap 1 happen again, please. As we go green for a second time for the Pocono Raceway. And our green flag presented by 40 Racewear. Check out 40racewear.com for iRacing essentials, from shoes to gloves. I know they have hats there, I believe, too now. You can check out 40 Racewear. Hit up Jim Herrick for all your details, or if you want to reach out to me, as Telder's in the wall. And there goes Stephen Melnick in the wall. And there goes Melnick down into Russo. And we stay green this time. But check out 40racewear.com. As we complete a lap of green. Kyle Ethier looking inside of Stephen Miles back there with Colby Wells drafting off the 24. Outside of the Melnick and Russo issues there with Telder, everybody looks like okay right now as they go into the tunnel turn. Let's go back here. Ty Young battle with Craig Martin and the 92 of Daniel Giroux. Appreciate everybody who stuck around. Apologies for the inconvenience and stuff, or the difficulties apparently that was going on. Apparently there was some kind of caution issue. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Gonna be a little later of a night. Not too much later, but a little later of a night. As Casey Carrington under attack. Miles right there with him. Ethier, Colby Wells. 4 cars right here under a blanket as the top 2 drive away. You see side by side back there with Young and Martin as they work their way up the Long Pond straightaway here. Carrington might get a little loose, and here comes Miles. You can see where that top side kind of comes to work a little bit on that flatter 6-degree banking. It's kind of impressive how that top side works. So they work their way down the long front straightaway. Speeds of 200 miles an hour down to turn 1. Dylan Rosenberg back there, the 91 car. He's been able to get around Giroux running back here in the 7th spot right now, early in this race. .197, that's pretty good in the turn 1. Bryson and Alfin have pulled away to about 2 actually seconds, almost 2.5 seconds. Back to Casey Carrington, who's under attack now with Colby Wells trying to get to the 99 car. Colby moves up to 3rd as he gets around the 99. Giroux battling now with Rosenberg. Daniel sporting that Montana State car as Bryson's going to pull over and let Alfin take the lead. And Dale's pulls in spot number 21. Ain't that some? Not many people will get that, but Alfin will. Ethier sends it in there, takes the position away. So going back to that lap 1 deal, looks like Melnick obviously with a little bit of damage. He's falling back. Russo about 6.5 seconds back with his damage. Telder up to 13th right now. And he is about 5 seconds back. About 6 seconds back from the leaders. Has 7 laps in the books. Colby Wells starting to kind of chew into the leader's lead. Got about a second up to Bryson. And then Brandon Alphin's right there still, as Bryson does not let him go. Of course, you remember back in the heyday, back in the 90s, even into the 2000s, you did a lot of shifting here at Pocono. And then, of course, they put in the gearing rules in the latter part of the 2000s, which kept these cars from shifting. Then all of a sudden it kind of worked its way back into shifting, and then the next gen car came out, and well, all they do is shift now. So, oh, and Ethier and Wells into the wall, and these two got a little friendly something going on. I don't know if it's friendly or not, but there's something there. Colby's going to let Kyle go into the corner, so move Ethier up to the third spot. Colby's going to try to cross him back over here out of turn one as Jacob Bowen comes to pit road in the 00 car. Likely an unscheduled pit stop there at lap 9. Ten laps complete as you see the guys in third and fourth. These guys are starting to hawk back down the top two. It was about 3.5 seconds it got up to there, and now it's back down to about a second or so as Bryson trying to get around Alphin. Not able to do so, and here comes Ethier as Carrington gets around Colby Wells for fourth. Here comes Miles. Should have pit stops coming up here in about 4 laps or so, depending on how much people have drafted and saved a little bit. What they can here down the straightaways. Alvin doing a good job just keeping Bryson there at bay. Problem is, though, is here comes the rest of the cars. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, all right here in this pack. More with Ethier down the front straightaway. Now 9,600 down to turn one. Alphin slides up the track and open the door for Bryson. Everybody from about 11th on back, pretty spread out. As a matter of fact, Michael Eckert just went around Russo back here for position in the 3 cars to move Eckert up to 15th. And here come pit stops. Got to get down to 55 miles an hour. As Telder has crashed. Over here in turn 3, caution is out. We'll show the replay here in a minute. Let's. These are going to be your leaders now. I mean, these guys just made bank with the way this track is. 4 tires and fuel for them all. They're going to take off. And that's going to be how they line up. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. Now, they do need to hurry up and get around to the pace car because pits are going to open with Carrington leading. And you see they're in turn 3 right now. If they get back, looks like they will stay. Looks like they're going to be okay because these guys will catch the pace car, come all the way back around. And it should allow the other cars to catch up and take the lead here. So, what happened to Telder? Got some right side damage, obviously, from that early wreck. Oh, back end's going to come around. Oh, overcorrects it. And unfortunately, 10 car done. Timestamp on it, 1550. So turn 1 would be back in here somewhere. What happened in turn 1? That's turn 2. Go back further. All right, here we go. Oh boy. Oh, he got daled. And of course, you're wrecking 3. Got it. I'm going to cut the pit road now. This is one of those nights, Taylor, my man, where you just throw a beer can out the window like you like to do. Bummer. As Carrington's going to win the race off pit road. And look at this, all the other cars came back in. The ones who came down pit road, Alphin's one when it stayed out. So they all come back to top the fuel off. Alex going to get damage fixed. Let the fuel-saving game begin. We should get one to go this time by. Of course, 4 races left in the season. Yeah, I don't even know what happened in the session. So, from what I'm seeing, is we got 15 cars in the lead lap. Sorry, I was answering a message I noticed I had from somebody about some things. So we'll go green at lap 17. You're going to see some cars probably saving fuel here. If you save enough under these cautions, you could maybe make this a two-stop race or one-stop race the rest of the way. It's going to be tough to do, but it can be done. Again, I talked about earlier, less drag in this car allows you to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'm getting tired, so forgive me. Coast, basically, and not lose much speed. It takes a lot less time than, say, in a truck or the next-gen car from a couple, or the Gen 6 car. It didn't coast very fast because it would just lose speed from getting out of the gas. So here we go, back racing, lap number 17. Just to update, Brandon Alfin stayed out after his pit stop at the caution. Kyle Ethier, Casey Carrington, fuel only. Miles took tires under the caution. Bryson, fuel only, came back in for that stop. So did Rosenberg. The rest of the guys, 7th place on down, all took tires under caution. As Colby Wells moves up past Ramsey for position. As Ethier gets the run, tries to the top side, a couple cars getting loose, trying to get the lead. He grabs the momentum and is going to grab the lead from Brandon Alfin at lap 19. As Miles coming up there behind him, Dylan Rosenberg right there with him. Bryson, there's Carrington battling with Giroux and others. There, the 88, Josh Dillon, helping out his teammate there in the 99. As you see the 28 of Ty Young back there giving a push to the 92 down in the turn 1. Evan Ramsey right there with him, and Dillon catches the apron a little bit there. It's going to upset the car as they race up the Long Pond straightaway. Wells to the inside of Rosenberg. Carrington falling back here. Of course, Kerry Casey took fuel only on that stop, so he's got older tires, as does Craig Martin. So they're saving that set of tires for later in case they need them if a caution comes out later in this race, which is always a strategy I kind of go for. As Alfin back to the inside. Wells getting past Rosenberg again there for the 5th position. Everybody pretty tight on each other here. Carrington now has fallen all the way, and here's these two. Russo and Carrington have been kind of at it since Dover, where Russo got turned by Carrington. But then last week, Russo kind of right-reared. It wasn't Carrington, but somebody else off the wall, and just a whole bunch of stuff's gone on from there. But those two arguing there for a second. Drama. So Ethier, Alphin, Miles, Bryson, Colby Wells, Rosenberg 6, and then here's Ty Young. Oh, look out. They almost hit each other. He had to get out of his. Giroux kind of lost the rear a little bit there. You saw right in front of him. Looked like Rosenberg got tail happy. Dillon going to carry it all the way to turn 1 here as we're 1 lap from halfway. So Carrington has come to pit road, 4 tires and fuel. And the 99 takes off now with the fresh tires, so we'll see how he does now. I mean, it's going to be a little rough with him without the draft, but at least he'll have the fresh tires to make up for it in the corners. Bounce back here to the 7th position as Young and Giroux lean on each other as Dillon's right there with them both. It's literally a bunch of packs here. We got 5 cars under a blanket up here in the top 5. Dylan Rosenberg is on here his own island, and then there's these guys back here that are having all types of issues, from Giroux in that Montana State Bobcats car to Ty Young in his McSwiggins car, and then Josh Dillon's in his Showtime car, not the TV channel, but the team. And then you got the 3 and the 6 that seem to be attached at the hip back here as they battle with Devin Ramsey. Look at this. All 5 of these cars now. As well as going to send it in there on Bryson. He'll take the position away. Alex is going to let him go. So it all came pit road at lap 14 or 15. We're at 26 now. So we should see another 4 laps or so. These guys will be back to pit road, which will leave 20 laps to go. Who can save enough? If you can get to lap... Doing the math in my head here real quickly. 33, 32, 33. Oh, caution. Caution on the track. Oh, Devin Ramsey's turned around. You say caution. I'm not sure Carrington would want to see here. Oh, 6 and 9 come together. You could argue that the 6 filled that gap too late. You could argue the 9 come up the track. You can argue that a hot dog's not a sandwich. Oh, here we go. Little argy bargy. All right, pit road going to be busy here. Pit stops with 22 this time laps to go. I would not be surprised to see a lot of fuel only right here. I would not be surprised to see a lot of... Oh, Ethier! That is not how you do things. Well, I guess that's one way to do it. Colby Wells going fuel only. Everybody else 4 tires, and Kyle Ethier is, well, going to lose a lot of positions here. Let's see how this all worked out. Too much brake, and hopefully he had the wheel cranked right or something there, but it spun the car to the right. I don't know if the downhill had something to do with that. Maybe it is slightly downhill right there. Interesting. So Carrington stays out. I was wondering what card he would pull here, because he's only used 1 set of tires. He might have to, unfortunately, eat up a little speed here again because of the older tires, but it shouldn't be much older. But obviously, you'll get to green here, and you get another caution within the next 7 laps, 8 laps. You're within the pit window to get to the finish. And on the 99 side, you have now the tires to get you there. All right, so the rest of the schedule, as I started to talk about a little bit ago, for the TI Gen 4 Series next week, it is Bristol Motor Speedway, and then Darlington, Milwaukee Mile, and Talladega to finish it all off on the 11th of June. Four races left to crown a champion in season number 11. So Casey Carrington on the older tires going to lead this race. Brandon Alphin, Alex Bryson, Stephen Miles, Daniel Drew, Dylan Rosenberg, your top 6 now. Colby Wells actually came back to pit road and put tires on it, looks like. So a little indecision there between the 45 and the rest of the field, or at least the 45 and his team. Have him now at the back. I would have went ahead and taken the lumps if you had to there, and then say and you had to set of tires for later, but it is what it is. As we are going to turn it up here for this restart. Enjoy. Whole segment, I saw these guys back here 2 and 3 wide the whole entire time, and they're still back here trying it. Kyle Ethier's back here after his issues. See Colby Wells now in front of them as Brandon Alphin has gone to the front. Carrington's still holding on there in the second position. Bryson, Miles, and Rosenberg still having a good top 5 run here. Well, Carrington's doing a great job. It's turning into a net positive. He can get as far as they can. Now, the question comes down to is the 3 strategy calls here now. Do you pit at the 14 lap to go mark or 15 to go mark and go the rest of the way on fuel? Do you go halfway into this run, which is roughly 10 laps, and pit with 10 to go? Or do you run this tank completely out and top it off or get tires with 4 to go? Or do we just get a caution somewhere in the next 5 laps and forget everything I just said for 30 seconds? I think all 4 are viable answers. As look at Ty Young dive it in there, take the 5th position away from Rosenberg. Oh, and then he gets loose. Oh boy. Good save on his part. As now Eckert going to take a position away, move him to 6th. Everybody getting loose. Hold on, boys. Track's getting slick. So Bryson was able to clear the 99. Now he's trying to go to work on the 21 here. 15 to go as Melanie King's left. He goes to pit road. Wells up to the 8th position. Here comes Ethier now. Call back up to that 45 as they try to get around Giroux. As Bryson goes back to the front ahead of Brandon Alphin here. As that settles down for a second, you see Wells and Ethier go by for 8th and 9th. Past Giroux, so I think these guys might have been saving their tires a little bit here, maybe saving some fuel. By giving all they can get here to get what track position they can. As Carrington now get pressure from Miles for third. Miles go by, so Steven the third is Rosenberg climbs up the back bumper of that Aaron's Dream machine. There's your first three to dive to pit road. 12, make that 11 laps to go, and Ethier's in the wall. That hurt his right front pretty good there. What you cannot do is make mistakes worse. More tires and fuel for all these guys. So these guys had that set of tires left. And there they go. Ethier looks like just optional damage, if anything, on that right front as they all pull away. And as you're seeing, Bryson's just coming out of turn 3 here. So there's plenty. And Bryson's going to hang a left. And Alfin's going to lock it in there. Pretty easy to tell where the other guys are. There's Carrington up the back straightaway to the tunnel turn there with the others. Everybody else on pit road here. Can they get back around and jump these cars? Brandon Alphin, that might be a 2-tire stop for the 21. Wells pulls away, 2-tire stop there, 4 for Bryson. As here comes Carrington. So can they chase down the 2 tires? as Ty Young and Kyle Ethier trying to get caught up as Eckert's on pit road. He's going 4 tires and fuel. As right now, there's your leader, Stephen Miles. Looks like he's going to be on the run it all the way out campaign here. Well, let's see who decides to come to pit road here. You see Dylan Rosenberg behind him. Josh Dillon now to pit road. So that leaves us with 5 cars that have not pitted. Sorry, make that 4 cars. Right now, Alfin and Wells' decision looks pretty good. The question is, can those left side tires hang on? As Miles brings them to 8 laps to go, Dylan Rosenberg's on pit road. The 91 having a great run here. And he's going 2 tires and fuel. Interesting call there as Colby Wells gets a little free there. Bryson to his outside as here comes Miles to pit road with 8 to go. Craig Martin coming in. See right side tires going on. Two tires for Miles. Martin's going 4 tires back there. And that hands the lead to Dominic Russo. And I'm going to say this now. There is no way he's going 21 laps on a tank of fuel. All right, so here comes the 63 to pit road. Now it's going to hand the lead over to Brandon Alfin. As Dale's pools and spawn number 21. He's got that much of an advantage over Alex Bryson, Colby Wells, Casey Carrington, Stephen Miles. As Carrington putting the pressure on Wells, and he's going to go by him for the 3rd spot. I think Wells is just trying to get the best finish he can here, knowing that those 2 tires are kind of hurting him now. And you wonder, can Bryson or Carrington get to the 21? Five laps to go. Bryson 0.3 faster than Alfin on that lap. Bryson kind of clipping the apron a little bit, which usually you don't want to do, but it seemed to help him turn the car a little bit there as he goes into turn 3 here. Often right down to the yellow line. You see Bryson moves up at a half groove. You see the car just sliding. That time by 0.3 of a second faster. Uh-oh, we might have ourselves a race for the win here. Catching them's one thing, passing's another. Often right down that yellow line. That time by, it was 0.4 of a second. Carrington was about a 10th quicker, and Miles was about 0.4 quicker back there in 5th. They're all hanging it out. Rule number 1, no, don't wreck each other. As Alfin made the mistake there, got loose. So did Bryson, but he was able to draft his way back up there. And with 2 laps to go, Bryson to the front. Alfin gets that draft, crossover into 2. Bryson sends it in there. As Bryson's going to bring it through turn 3 and to the white flag final lap. You see back there, Miles got by Carrington for 3rd. As Bryson brings it through turn 1, you heard earlier we talked to him in the first race. And he talked about the love-hate he had for Pocono. Just could not figure out this track sometimes, but tonight he has shown that he does have something, and maybe it's his car. But he goes out, won the pole for both races. Led laps in both races. And even after a restart, he's going to find himself back on top as he comes out of turn 3. The Pennsylvania boys going to victory lane in Pocono. Alex Bryson wins at the Tricky Triangle. Alfin, Miles, Carrington, Colby Wells, and Rosenberg going to finish 6th. And shenanigans. So for AB, it's his first win of the season here. and should shoot him up in the points a little bit here. Maybe up to 4th when it's all said and done. Pretty good donuts. He ain't let that motor blow up. He finally grenaded, maybe? Or did he stop? I don't see smoke. Oh, well done. So we take a look at the results. Bryson wins it by 9/10 of a second over Brandon Alphin. Miles finishes 3rd, Carrington 4th, and Colby Wells 5th. Rosenberg 6th, Ty Young 7th. 8th goes to Kyle Ethier, 9th, Josh Dillon, Craig Martin 10th. Michael Eckert 11th, Devin Ramsey 12th, Dominic Russo 13th, Melnick 14th, and Daniel Giroux finishing in the top 15. And the last 3 finishers, unfortunately, having issues. Sammy Davis finishes 16th, Telder 17th, Bowen in the 18th position. All right, let's talk to some drivers as they're all hanging out up here. And let's grab 3rd place finisher here, Stephen Miles. And what was a tricky night? Stephen, I got to be honest, I was a little worried about the 2-tire call there at the end, but you know what you're doing. And you made it work out and got past a couple cars at the end there to get 3rd.
Yeah, that's basically what Alpin and AB did. I lost some races like they're taking 4. I think Ethier took 4. He finished 8th. So I was just curious. I wanted to see how it worked out. I could have pitted with them. I felt like I was the fastest long run car, but I just want to see how the tires played out, and it was a scare. That first session with all that happened and all the confusion with the pace car, and just appreciate AB for picking up the ball on that one and putting up a session, and he did it fast he could, best he could, and I think it was just like a half a lap more fuel, and but the session was 124 degrees.
A little
And
hot.
that's when the real drivers come out. That's when you have to really drive this car, and you seen the ones who could really handle it up front, and it was just wild, man. I really wish I would have practiced a little bit more, put the wrong setup on, really put the setup overcast and so much grip. Lewis, how he be doing his sessions, and coming out with this 124 took me back to Sunday night. So I just had to do some audible with some brake bias changes, and that's the best I could have did to tighten it up. And after that first run, I was basically just going left and right, man. I was just letting people go. I didn't want to wreck nobody, but once I was able to fix that, I was able to hold my position and make some spots up, and it was a good race, man. Good strategy race. I mean, we had to take tires every single time. I wish he'd take a set away, but just a good win for Bryson.
Yeah, obviously the weather played the big difference there. Just was the biggest difference, obviously, to sliding around.
Yeah, it was real slippery out there. You had to drive the car completely different than how you ran the first race. It was so much grip the first race, and the second race you just being easy with that throttle pedal. But I mean, it that's racing to me. That's basically dirt tracking it on pavement, and I like that type of racing, man. And who doesn't like it? They gotta be out their mind.
Absolutely. Great job, man. Send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Appreciate the best broadcaster in the whole iRacing community, man. Scholar. Chris Scholar, that is, and appreciate everything you do for us and everything you do for all the leagues you broadcast. Appreciate Lewis, appreciate AB for fixing the mistake and getting that win. Alvin for almost having it. Basically, our whole Discord channel was in the top 8. So I guess I thank Dylan Rosenberg, Kyle Ethier, Kobe Wells, and thank God and thank my girlfriend and all the fans that stuck around with us to watch that one.
Great job tonight, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Stephen Miles finishing in the 3rd position tonight. And that behind Mr. Alphin here as he finishes in the 2nd position. Did you have some help tonight? Brandon might not even be here. I'm talking to a wall. As Brandon finishes 2nd tonight, I'll have to check back with him maybe in a minute. I even did a Morgan Wallen reference, and it didn't work. It happens. We'll go back to him in a minute. Let's get Bryson up here, because I know he's here.
Hello.
He's happy. Hello.
Hello.
So apparently the man that saves the session goes to victory lane also. So, hey, not only did you win the race, but you started on pole both times. So
Yeah, right.
that whole I'm not fast here thing doesn't fly anymore.
Yeah, that's still gonna stick with my gut and say I'm not fast here. Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate. It was just a crazy. I don't even know what to call it. That just happened in that first session, and I personally pitted my black box up above my steering wheel. Told me pit road was open in that first session, and I went ahead and pitted. And of course, it gave me the black flag, and you drop to the tail end. And I mean, it just got haywire from there. But that was the last session. We can talk about this session now. Just redid the session off of memory, I always thought it was, and how it was supposed to be set up. Just set it up the way that I thought it should have been, and yeah.
Well, obviously it worked out. Some great racing, some strategy at the end there. Talk about your call to go 4 tires, because obviously your teammates around you went 2.
Yeah, so coming out of 2, I had right sides checked just to take 2 tires, and that's what I was gonna do was 2 tires. And I don't know, something in the back of my mind. I think his name's Stephen Miles. I think he still lives in my head rent free. Maybe like a race or 2 ago was like, just slap 4 tires on that thing and go. And I'm like, yeah, maybe you're right. I'll try it. So that little birdie that was just living in the back of my head was like, just go ahead and do it. What the hell are you gonna lose? You're so far back in points, it's gonna take a monumental comeback. And so as I was coming into 3 and pit, and that's why I was kind of slower getting into pit road there. I was checking 4 tires, and the minute I seen Alphin and Colby go, I was like, it's game on. So I just kind of did my thing, kind of overdrove it more than what I should have, but Brandon really raced me clean there at the end, so I appreciate him for that. And it was just kind of one of those races I used to love having in TI, just giggling and laughing like a little girl personally. So it's just a group of people that I'm with in that chat. It's just downright fun sometimes. There's a lot of different personalities, and we mesh really good. And I appreciate that camaraderie that we all have, and the understanding that we're not going to wreck each other, but we're going to have fun racing for the win. And that's exactly what Brandon said. He goes, we'll just have at it, and we'll keep it clean. And I thought in the back of my mind, we did this in GLSR, like the first or second race in, and we wrecked each other. I was like, let's not do this again. So but yeah, just overall very happy.
See, camaraderie. C-O-M. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
Great.
lost me at that point.
Great job tonight, and send some shout outs over you like to.
I got to thank you for putting on the broadcast and kind of working through that first session there. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the second session. It was a heck of a lot hotter. Definitely put it in my opinion, into the driver's hands. I'm going to give a big shout out to my pregnant wife and my 3 beautiful children, especially my wife let me take the busy time out of our busy lives to do this. I got to thank my dad, I gotta thank my wife's grandmother. I gotta thank Stephen Miles, the man that lives rent free inside my head. Brandon Olphin, Colby Wells, Kyle Ethier was in there. Even Dylan Rosenberg was in there. So I appreciate them being in there and being supportive throughout the whole entire thing. I gotta thank you if I haven't thanked you already for putting on these broadcasts. Oh, Chris Lewis. I forgot about Chris Lewis. Shout out Chris Lewis.
There you go.
That's all I have.
Not bad. Keep it up. By the way, you'll have yourself a franchise in Pittsburgh for the NBA.
I'm trying to, because we don't have an elite quarterback. He retired about 3 years ago.
I said the NBA, not the NFL.
Oh well, same difference.
You'll be okay.
Same but different.
That
Yeah.
Fields guy will be okay for you once Russ trains him.
It's all that paint that I work with. It's getting to my head.
That will happen sometimes. So, all right, man, good job tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Alex Bryson going to victory lane here tonight. Let's see if Mr. Alphin's come back yet, and see if he's checked back in. Hello, Brandon. Brandon is still AWOL. Is there a Braves game on or something? Yeah, well, I tried to talk to him. So, good job, Brandon. Finished in second, by the way, buddy. All right, I'm going to bed. I didn't get a nap today, so. Nice job, and congrats to Alex Bryson on getting the win. Thank you, viewers, for hanging out for a little bit extra time there. Appreciate everybody's help and getting us through the session. Big shout out to apparently Bryson for putting the session back up. And after what happened earlier, I think I know exactly what happened, but obviously, yeah. Anyways, good job, everybody. Good race there in the end, and way to shake off the rough start there, but. We move on. We'll go to Bristol next week. That'll have to be fun with all the rivalries we got around here. Anyways, this isn't just a game. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night, by the way. This isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.
copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.